So here's the story, folks. The MotoGP Thailand 2026 sprint race just wrapped up, and drama immediately exploded. Marc Marquez, who was cruising in first place, suddenly got hit with a drop one position penalty, handing the victory to Pedro Acosta. The reaction from the Ducati camp? They're not having it and claim the penalty is completely unfair. Here's how it all went down. The sprint race in Buriram was already exciting from the start. Marco Bezzecchi, starting from pole position, initially led the pack but unfortunately crashed out on lap 2. After Bezzecchi's exit, Marc Marquez and Pedro Acosta immediately locked into a fierce battle for the win. The two were swapping positions in the final corner multiple times and everything was clean with no contact. But on lap 12, with just one lap remaining, Marc Marquez made an aggressive overtake on Acosta in the last corner. The move was admittedly quite hard, forcing Acosta off track and into the runoff area. Acosta rejoined but was already half a second behind Marquez. The stewards immediately investigated the incident and ultimately handed Marquez a drop one position penalty. What made it controversial was the timing of the penalty. Marquez only received the penalty notification on his dashboard as he exited the second-to-last corner and on the final lap. In other words, he practically had no time to drop position and try to overtake Acosta again. So he had to brake before the last corner, let Acosta through, and ended up finishing in second place. Davide Tardozzi, team manager of Ducati Lenovo, immediately spoke out strongly on television after the race. According to him, Marc didn't touch Pedro at all, and Marc didn't go off track either. He said there have been plenty of overtakes like this in MotoGP. Why should this one get penalized? Tardozzi emphasized that Marc and Pedro are smart racers who want to win, and he's certain that if Pedro were in Marc's position, he would have done the exact same thing. Marc Marquez himself was clearly holding back his emotions when asked about the penalty. He simply said race direction had made their decision, so he'd follow the rules. But what really frustrated him was the timing of the penalty. He asked, why did the stewards need a minute and a half to issue the penalty notification? If they want to be strict about the rules, why not do it properly from a procedural standpoint as well? Marc even said with a somewhat sarcastic tone, "This is the new era of MotoGP. We have to adapt to the new rules. That's it." He also firmly stated he's not the type of rider who likes to complain, and he'll focus on adapting his riding style according to what the bike needs and what the championship rules require. One thing's clear. He has no intention of complaining to Simon Crafar, the head of the stewards panel. But beneath all that disappointment, Marc actually remained positive. He said 9 points in the first race after recovering from injury isn't too bad. His strategy was actually to control the race pace after Bezzecchi crashed. Every time Acosta overtook him, he'd immediately overtake back in the next corner. So he wanted to play it safe while staying competitive. What's interesting about this situation is it's a preview of the 2027 season. Marquez and Acosta will be teammates in the future, so many are already seeing this as a glimpse of how their rivalry will unfold. But Tardozzi quickly downplayed concerns about this. He said they're both smart riders who know the boundaries and how to work professionally. This penalty also sparked broader discussions about steward consistency in handing out penalties. Many fans and observers are confused why similar overtakes in other races didn't get penalized, but this one did. Is it because of the crucial timing at the end of the race? Are the stewards trying to be stricter? Or is there a new standard that not everyone understands yet? One thing's for sure, this incident provides plenty of lessons. First, stewards need to be more consistent and faster in making decisions. A minute and a half is way too long in the context of motorcycle racing where every second counts. Second, there needs to be clearer communication about what overtaking boundaries are acceptable and what aren't. From Marc Marquez's side, he showed extraordinary maturity. He could have gotten angry or protested hard, but he chose to focus forward. He knows the energy spent complaining won't change the race result, so he'd rather use that energy to prepare for the next race in Argentina. Acosta ultimately got his first MotoGP win, albeit in a slightly controversial manner. But for him, a win is still a win. This is also KTM's first sprint victory since 2023, so it's a hugely important moment for their team. What makes this drama even more interesting is the context of the 2026 season. Marc Marquez just moved to the factory Ducati team after a brilliant season last year, where he won the championship. Expectations for him are sky high, and he's already shown incredible speed since testing. He got pole position in his debut for factory Ducati and should have won this sprint if not for the penalty. Ducati as a team must be disappointed too. They invested heavily to sign Marquez, and seeing the first victory slip away because of what they consider an unfair penalty must sting. But on the other hand, 9 points in the first race with Marc just recovering from a shoulder injury is actually a solid result. It's also interesting to see how this will affect both riders' mentality going forward. Marquez is already known as a mentally tough fighter, so chances are this will only motivate him more. Acosta, on the other hand, gets a confidence boost from his first win, though he knows there's a small asterisk next to his name in the race results. For MotoGP fans, this actually makes the 2026 season even more compelling. The Marquez-Acosta rivalry has heated up from the very first race, and we still have dozens more races ahead, with both riders racing for different manufacturers, but set to become teammates in the future. Every battle they have on track carries an additional layer of storyline. Sunday's race becomes even more crucial now. Marquez definitely wants to prove he can win cleanly without any controversy. Acosta also surely wants to show he truly deserves the win, not just because of someone else's penalty. And the fans? We all want to see a fair fight between these two talented riders on the same track. So, folks, now it's your turn. Do you think the penalty on Marquez was fair or not? Were the stewards too strict, or was this exactly how it should be? Drop your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to like this video if you agree Ducati has reason to complain. Subscribe too so you don't miss updates on the next MotoGP drama, because it looks like this season will be full of exciting controversies. Oh, and for those curious about Sunday's race, stay tuned. We'll break down completely how Marquez gets his revenge or whether Acosta can dominate again. Share this video with your MotoGP fan friends too so they don't miss this hot drama. See you in the next video. Peace out.